All right, guys. So I've been using Jobber to run my business going on 4 years now. And there's a really good reason for that. And the reason is because I treat my business like a business and not like a side gig. And because Jobber is the industry leader for CRM software for running businesses just like mine. So what I want to do today is rather than talk about what Jobber can do, I've got tons of deep dive videos already that take you deep into exactly what Jobber can do. I want to talk to you, business owner, about why I'm still with Jobber. And the number one reason, if you take away nothing else from this video, the number one reason that I want you to take away that I'm still with Jobber 4 years later is this. Jobber is the industry leader. And when I say they're the industry leader, what I mean is Jobber listens to us. When we tell them what we need their software to do, they go and they make it happen. They actually want to be the best. They have a good business model. The idea is if we make the best product for the industry, then we will succeed. And that's exactly what they do. And you know they're the leader because they'll drop a bunch of new features, which is partly what we're going to go over today. Is just the features they've dropped just this year. We're not even 3 months in, but they'll drop these new features, and then what you'll see is about 6 months later, all of their competitors will start dropping a hacked version of that same feature. And by the time they do, Jobber's already dropped a whole bunch of new features that their competitors are then going to try to catch up with. And that's how you identify an industry leader. So, like I said, I've done a lot of deep dives. Y'all can go watch my videos. They're hour and a half or more long on everything Jobber can do for you. But what I want to do today is just talk to you about all the most recent stuff that they've dropped just this year to help give you an idea of why I've been with them 4 years and why I'm certain I'll continue staying with them. But I want you to have that one main takeaway. They are the industry leader. They listen to us and they put out the features that we ask them to put out, and they do a very good job of it. So, just in the last 80 days, we're 80 days into 2024 now. Just in the last 80 days, they have dropped all kinds of new stuff. Some of it quietly, some of it with some fanfare. But my favorite one so far, and I just noticed this, I didn't see any press announcements on it. It just appeared in my Jobber account all of a sudden as another upgrade, is using AI to rewrite a lot of what you write on your invoices, your quotes, etc. And what I noticed was I'm in there typing stuff up and I go in and I see this little button off to the side where I'm typing that says rewrite. And it's an AI that'll do the rewriting. And the reason this matters is because, especially when it comes to estimates, when you send an estimate to somebody, they want to feel like you know what you're doing. So let's say you're just maybe you don't have great grammar, maybe you don't have great spelling, maybe you know exactly what you're doing, but just the articulation of that is not your strong suit. It's the work that's your strong suit. So you hit that little rewrite button and just boom, all of a sudden it sounds like it's come from a professional contractor with 20 or 30 years experience. And I've tested it out. I typed in a whole bunch of stuff that was misspelled with bad grammar, sort of minimum viable product, and it will just rewrite it to sound better. And you're going to see a difference in how often your quotes get accepted and just in how you're viewed by your clients by means of them reading what you've wrote and feeling like it's a really professional job. Next feature, just this year, Google reviews. They now have a feature where when your client pays their bill, as soon as that bill's paid and it's marked as paid, they're going to actually get prompted to go leave you a Google review through the Jobber software. It's going to prompt them right away so they don't forget when they get that receipt to go ahead and go leave a review for you. And for those of you who have been doing this a while, you know that if you're working for homeowners especially, they're going to go to Google reviews and look at you, and a lot of them are going to make decisions based on that. So that's another feature for 2024. They just put out what I call mass email campaigns. It's a marketing tool where you can take every client you've ever put through your Jobber software, every client you've created, and you can delineate only clients that I haven't worked for in 6 months, or all clients, or clients that I've tagged with this particular tag. And you can just have it mass email a promotional campaign or whatever it is you would like to let them know to remind them that you exist so that if they do need any work done, so they remember, hey, call this guy. He's got some openings and he's ready for some work. And that's extremely handy. You don't have to go download another app and use another piece of software and transfer all your data over. It's all integrated into Jobber, and that's something they put out because it's something we wanted. Next is going to be, oh yeah, so they've got there's a request button for Jobber where your clients can go click this button and make a request through the software for you. It'll be sitting in your software waiting. And they just added a new feature, again, quietly, just added this new feature all of a sudden that now your clients can upload photos to that request. That's not something that you get to sell more Jobber for. That's not something that you get to use to increase your revenue as a CRM company making great software. All that is we wanted that. And we told them we wanted that. We told them that was necessary and that it would make our business better. And they went and figured out how to make it happen, made the changes, and now all of a sudden you can have photos uploaded along with the request that your clients make. Oh yeah, here's a really good one. Reports. So Jobber has great reporting. You can filter and you can just filter and create all these different reports and search through everything to find the data for your business that your business needs in order to succeed and do better. So along with being able to filter, now you can create reports based on your custom fields. And if you don't know what a custom field is, most CRM software has these different fields like client name, client address, all the different pieces of info you put in. With Jobber, you can create your own custom fields. So if there's something you need to be in all of your work orders or all of your invoices or all of your estimates, you can actually go in and insert that new field and sort of customize Jobber to your business, which was already in existence with Jobber. They were already doing that. But now they've added it so that when you pull reports from Jobber, you can also filter those reports based on your custom fields, which is a huge leap. Next, online assessments with automatic booking. So Jobber already had automatic booking. They put that out last summer. So now people can go to your website, click on your booking link, or you can send the link to them, but they can click on a booking link and they can actually book you without you having to make phone calls and do all the scheduling and jump through all the hoops and spend your precious time. And if you're running a business, your time is precious. They can just book you for a job. Well, now they can book you for assessments as well. So if they want an estimate for something, they can actually book you automatically for that assessment if you would like them. If you want to give them that option, then they can do that. What else do we have? Yeah, here's a great one. Again, they didn't do any big announcement on this. It just appeared one day. But now on the mobile app, because that's what you're going to be using when you're driving around town doing the work. You're not home on your PC and you use your mobile app to go through your jobs and use the map function to navigate you there. Well, now on the mobile app, when you go open that job, there's going to be a button for you to automatically send a text message to the client letting them know that you're on your way. So again, you don't have to call them. You don't have to sit down and type the text. You're already about to open the app, to open the job, to click on the navigate button to go to your next job. So while you're there, click one more button and boom, they've been notified that you're on your way. So if they're not home, they can hurry up and get home. Or if they need to let you know anything extra, if they have any questions, you've just communicated with them with one click of one button. And again, they didn't make a bunch of fanfare out of it. They just try to build. Again, this is the takeaway I want y'all to have from this. Jobber listens to us. And when we tell them what we need to make our businesses as good as they can be, they find a way to make it happen. And then their competitors follow up with their own hacked version like 6 months later. Oh, here's a really cool one. They've done this before, but it just started up again for this year, and it's bigger this year, is Jobber Grants. So they're going to be giving $10,000 grants to 15 people this year. And I don't want y'all to go apply for these right away because I'm going to do a dedicated video on these grants. I've read through everything, all the detail, all the small print, all the terms and conditions. And I'm going to be doing a dedicated video to explain to you guys how to increase your odds of winning these grants. But it's 15 grants at $10,000 each that will be given away to 15 small home service-based businesses just like yours. And you get to apply for it and win it. And again, it's because they care about the industry. They're not going to sell more Jobber by giving away free money in the forms of these grants. It's just how they try to integrate themselves into the community and show us that they're part of our team. Next is customer service. So both online, if you go read reviews at any site where you can review CRM software, online you're going to find that they have the best customer service. But what I want to talk to you about is my experience. And my experience is literally every time I've needed Jobber, every single time I've had a question about the software, every time I've needed it to do something that it can do, but I don't know how to make it do it, every single time I am able to get somebody. I prefer the chat boxes that come up on the computer screen so I can keep working and then come over here and respond to the chat. But whether it's by phone or by chat, there's never been a time that I couldn't get Jobber immediately to get somebody to help me with what I'm trying to make happen here. And I'm not saying it never happens. Of course, every company sometimes is going to drop the ball on customer service. But in my personal experience, after 4 years, and I've done everything in the software, top to bottom, left to right, end to end, I have dove through everything in here. And every time I've needed help, no matter how complex, they've been there immediately and they've gotten my problem solved as fast as humanly possible. Let's see. Oh, yeah. And so, also in my experience, I can just say, generally speaking, there is more in the pipeline with Jobber. There's always more. Like, as an example, I don't have any specific information on this. They don't tell me, what it is that they're working on for the future. I almost guarantee you, I bet you they're working on an inventory project so that we can track our inventory in our vehicles or in our shops. Whatever it is that we've asked them for, I can promise you, Jobber is working on a dozen things right now that they're just going to continue dropping throughout the year because, as I said, that's how you become the industry leader, is you make yourself the first to go and figure out how to solve the problems that your clients are asking you to solve. It's the same thing I do with my clients. I'm their problem solver. Jobber is my problem solver when it comes to the software that I need for running my business. And I guarantee you there's a dozen more things coming down the pipeline that we'll find out about one at a time as they drop it. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to be the first to drop it. And 9 times out of 10, their competitors are going to drop a hacked version of it 6 months later. Something else I really, really like about them that actually drew me to them initially is there are no commitments and no contracts. Jobber is not one of those companies that sucks you in with some sort of big discount or sucks you in with some sort of, free trial where the trick is you forget to cancel your free trial and then all of a sudden now you're stuck on a 1 year contract paying for something you don't want. Jobber doesn't do that. The free trial is a free trial. When you finish the free trial, if you choose to go ahead and purchase Jobber, you can. And if you choose not to, you're not going to get a bill in the mail all of a sudden. Same thing with the contracts. You don't have to sign up for a year. You can sign up for the highest tier plan and 6 months in, decide that you're going to take your business down a notch because you've got a sick family member or something, and you can just bump yourself down to the next lower tier plan. You're not stuck in anything with Jobber, and I really like that because a lot of their competitors do require contracts to get signed on, and I'm not a fan of that. I feel like that's sneaky and dishonest. And speaking of pulling you in with discounts, right now, like right now, from today is March 20th. So between today and the 29th, you can get Jobber for 50% off, which is the biggest discount that I've seen. If you buy it before the 29th, it's going to be 50% off. And like I said, that is the biggest discount I've seen. But again, the beautiful thing is you don't have to buy it. You're not going to get automatically billed if you forget to go cancel your free trial or anything. If you purchase it, like if you want to try out, if use the 50% off to spend 3 months on the Grow plan, learning all of the features that it has so that you can figure out if it's right for your business, you can spend that time on that plan. And if in 6 months you just decide, hey, you know what? I don't think I use these features enough, you can drop down to the Connect plan, or you can start on the Core plan and just save money or be able to pay a year in advance because it's cheap enough that with the half off, you can afford to pay for a year in advance. And then later on, if you want to bump your plan up, you can just go ahead and bump your plan up. But Jobber grows and shrinks with you. And even above the Grow plan, they have enterprise level stuff where they'll work with you. Like the Grow plan is 15. So you can have 15 people, sorry, 15 people in your software as far as like workers and stuff that you're assigning jobs out to. It comes with 15. If you need to get bigger, you can get bigger with them. It just goes beyond the Grow plan. That's when you start needing more specialized service. And then, oh, what was I going to say? Something very related to that. Oh, franchising. I mean, not that I'm trying to franchise yet. I'm sure that's probably 8 years down the line for me. But if you do manage to build yourself a great business with a great business model and you succeed wildly and you have people that want to franchise your name and do what you're doing and pay you some cut of what their business is making, Jobber has a whole program for helping you franchise, and they'll make the software work in a franchise model. So I guess what I'm saying is Jobber takes care of every single need we have. And if you think you found a need that they're not filling, I can promise you somebody's already on it. The software's halfway written and it's going to get dropped probably this year. So I want to go over real quick for you guys because now is a good time to get into the Grow plan with the half off, because you can basically experiment with all of the features that the Grow plan comes with. You can experiment with all of those for the price of a Connect plan, at least for 3 months. So I want to go over what the difference is, what you gain by bumping up to the Grow plan. If you do choose to do this, the 50% off is the best time for you to go ahead and give it a shot. And so one is going to be location timers. And this has to do with more features I haven't told you about, but you can clock in and clock out with employees and have their hourly rates put in there and everything. So the location timers is a step above that, where not only do you know when they've clocked in and clocked out, but as they're going around town doing their job, if you enable this feature, it's going to geofence around each of the addresses that they're going to be going to, so that when their vehicle enters that geofenced area near the home that they're going to be working on or the business that they're going to be working on, it's going to automatically start tracking the time for that specific job. And then when they leave, it's going to stop tracking the time for that job. And when they get near the next job, it's going to start automatically and stop automatically, so they don't have to do that. I think that's a good thing to have if you've got a handful of employees. Next is job costing. Job costing, I haven't done a full dedicated video on yet because there's so much to it. But essentially, job costing is going to track the profitability of your jobs real time. So if you have an employee assigned to it who's making $20 an hour, when he gets onto that job, it's going to start tracking his actual paycheck that you're going to be paying him for doing that job. It's going to be tracking the materials when you go and put in your materials expenses, but it will give you real-time profitability information. And if you're like me, data driven is the way to run your business. The more you know, the better the decisions you can make. And this is going to take with you this is going to come with you along with the job and show you those numbers rising and falling as you become more or less profitable real time with that job. Next is text messaging. That's a feature where you can come in here. So for example, when I schedule, I prefer for all of my scheduling and in fact, almost all of my communications with any of my clients to be in writing, so that there's never any question as to what was discussed and what was agreed upon. But instead of having to do it all in my phone, which I'll do some in my phone, I don't mind. But instead of having to fill my entire phone with all of that, you can go into Jobber and you can actually you get assigned like your own business phone number, and then you can type on your keyboard, which is also much faster. You can do all that text messaging back and forth from your PC on the keyboard. They probably have it set up to do it in the app. I haven't looked because I use the PC more than I use the phone app, but you can text message back and forth, and of course it all gets saved in your Jobber account. That's a permanent record that you get to keep in case you ever need to go back and reference it. Inventory, or not inventory, but markups for materials. I don't mark up my materials, but I think most people in this industry do. So markups are where you add a percentage to your materials. So let's say you buy, some people double the price. So let's say you buy a garbage disposal for $89 and now you're going to sell it for $178 because you've doubled the price. You can go in there to each of your items that you may be charging for the materials, which is a whole other feature, that you can create all those custom line items, which I have created. You can find the link, in fact, at the bottom. This is all free documents. All of my custom line items in Jobber for my handyman business, all of them I have downloaded out of Jobber, put into a file for you. You can download them, upload them into your Jobber, and you will have all of my custom line items. Also in the description, by the way, is my link for you to try a free trial of Jobber. So if you're going to do that, please do use my link in the description for your free trial. But yes, markups. I don't mark up, but you can put automatic markups and you can tell it, I want to always mark this item up 25%. I want to always mark this item up 50%. And then you put in the cost you paid. It does the math. It puts it in there. It's all saved. And you don't sit down here every time with a calculator trying to figure out exactly what you need to be charging for each item. It's in Jobber. It's permanent. You save it and it does the work for you. That's also on the Grow plan. And my favorite, so this is what got me on the Grow plan about 2 years ago, was they call them optional add-ons. And what this means is, let's say you write an estimate for somebody and they want a new faucet, right? So you have a custom line item for a new faucet, but then you can also have an optional add-on to that where they can upgrade it to a fancier faucet or to a fancier whatever. It doesn't have to be faucets, obviously. Now, I found a way to hack that system and use it for a different purpose, which is when I do estimates for people on, mostly vacant properties that I'm sort of refurbishing to be rented out or renovated. When I'm doing those, I've been requested to give an estimate to perform 12 different jobs. While I'm there, I take a look at the fascia outside on my way to the door. I test the doorbell when I get to the door. I look at the weather stripping. I jiggle the doorknob. I look at outlet covers that may be cracked. I look for light fixtures that don't work. I'm always observant. I'm always looking for other things I can do for them. And then when I send them that estimate with those 12 items, I can add 12 more items to that estimate, and each one of those is line item approve or deny. I essentially use the optional upgrade line items as just simply a long list of approve or deny. So they can get their 12 that they requested, and they can click yes on any of the ones that they go ahead and approve based on the price next to each one. But then they can read down the 12 that I added, and if they don't want any of them, that's fine. I don't have to rewrite the estimate for them. They just don't click on those. So what this does for me is it increases my revenue dramatically because they usually, as long as my pricing's fair, they usually just were not aware that those other items needed to be addressed. And once I've made them aware with pictures, because that's another thing you can do with a Grow plan, is you can add pictures to individual line items. So if I say your fascia's rotten, I can include a picture of the rotten fascia on the estimate. Line item approve or deny. They can see that the fascia's rotten. They're going to be very aware of it at that moment. They're going to see the price. If it's a fair price, they click approve. And like I said, I don't have to rewrite that estimate in order for them to finally be able to approve it. They can just not approve it or approve it. Bumps my revenue way up. Line item images on quotes. That's what I just went over. Big one here is quote follow-ups. So I don't know about y'all. I do a lot of estimates. The percentage of them that get approved and denied varies over the course of the year. But what Jobber does for you on the Grow plan is it's going to automatically do follow-ups. I think it'll do 2 different follow-ups, and you can customize this and you can say, if you haven't heard anything back, if this quote hasn't been electronically signed and approved, let's say within 5 days of when they received it, then 5 days later, I want you to send them an email reminder, just asking them if they had any questions. You can make a very professional message, but you have it automatically. So again, you don't have to come home, sit at the computer, go through all of your unapproved estimates and start making phone calls or text messages or emails to ask them. You don't have to spend that hour, hour and a half getting in touch with everybody, asking them if they're ready to approve the estimate or if they have any questions. Jobber's gonna do it for you and save you that time. These are all the things that add up to make it so valuable. And it'll do that twice. You can say 5 days later and then 14 days later, do an automatic follow-up or whatever time schedule you want. And let's see, I already went over the 15 users. So yeah, that's all I'm going to do today, guys. But again, I want your takeaway to be this, because I get asked this a lot. Everybody who watches my channel is aware that I use Jobber to run my business. They're aware that I love Jobber. And I get asked frequently why. Why? And people want to know really in detail why. So this is me, business owner to business owner. Again, not talking about all the features Jobber does. I have multiple videos, well over an hour and a half long, diving super deep into every single feature. What you heard from me today is the tip of the iceberg. It does everything you need it to do, and if you find something that it doesn't do, you can rest assured they're probably already working on it and it's probably going to drop soon because they are the leader. And you know they're the leader because when they drop these new features, their competitors follow up very shortly after, within 6 months usually, with what I would call a hacked version of the same feature. So, with that being said, I don't want to waste any more of your time. I just wanted to have sort of a face to face with you and say, hey, for those who have been asking, this is literally why I've been using Jobber for 4 years. And if the culture of Jobber doesn't change, if they continue being a company that is always motivated and dedicated based on this idea that if we create a great product, then we will succeed. As long as they stay with that culture, I don't see me ever using anything other than Jobber because they're going to grow with me as big as I want to get, or I can stay right where I'm at. It doesn't matter. They're a company that's here to take care of me and fill my needs, just like I'm a company that's here to fill the needs of my clients. So, with that being said, I hope this was extremely useful to y'all. Don't forget there is a link in the description to click to get your free trial, and the 50% off does end on the 29th. So, you do need to make that purchase before the 29th to get the 50% off. And I will see y'all on the next one.